Oh, now this is interesting.
Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal.
What's up? Ghislaine Maxwell apparently had dirt on Trump, and she was trying to give that dirt to the Biden administration in exchange for an actual pardon, y'all. At least this is what's being said by a former cellmate of hers that apparently heard her say all kinds of different things, basically saying, I have dirt on Trump. I can give this to Biden, give it to the Biden administration in exchange for a pardon. This is massive news. Now, again, massive news that we have to take with a grain of salt because, of course, this is coming from an ex-cellmate, ex-criminal. We don't know if she's actually telling the full truth or if she's exaggerating. She might have gotten paid for this interview. God only knows, guys. We have to put out all the options. Maybe she is telling the truth, but then again, maybe she's not, right? But nonetheless, it does make you wonder, why didn't Biden jump on the opportunity to take Trump down? Because let's be real, Biden has tried to find any reason, if he could remember, to take down Trump. This was an opportunity. I could see this being a huge top opportunity to destroy Trump, and he didn't take it. So is there a reason behind it, or is this ex-cellmate telling the actual truth? And we already know that Ghislaine has been moved. As soon as she did that interview with the Deputy Attorney General, Blanche, that 2-day-long, 9-hour-long, over the course of 2 days interview with them, talking about 100 different names. As soon as she gave out that information, she got moved to a nice, plush, cushy new prison in Bryan, Texas, okay? Damn near, she's living at a Club Fed, that's what they're calling it, okay? Like a summer camp where people that are in there for white-collar crimes and nonviolent convictions are there. But what's interesting about this is a little information I read about, and I didn't get a chance to give this to you guys. But what they're saying now is that the people inside that prison have such a problem with her that there's a program where inmates get to go and spend time with like puppies and stuff. Apparently some of these inmates are walking out. When they get released, they're walking out with their respective puppy that they actually bonded with. It's getting that crazy. It's that exaggerated to the point where they have such a problem with her that they don't want her to be a part of that program. They're like, no, you ain't touching no puppies. You ain't touching nothing little. Like children. You ain't doing that, okay? No, you ain't getting the little cuddly wuddly fuzzy little puppies. F all that, which is crazy, right? But it's fitting. It makes sense. Her crimes are much more severe than that of the other ones that are locked up in that prison right now. White collar crimes. Okay, she's about to do sun salutations and learn how to crochet right now, and maybe a little pickleball right now, maybe some tennis. God only knows. All right. She's getting the full on treatment. And that's after she had an interview with the Deputy Attorney General. It's not like she moved before the interview. This was directly days after the interview with the Deputy Attorney General. So make that make sense. Also, former attorney for Trump, if I'm correct. So again, make it make sense. Some odd stuff is going on for sure. But now we're hearing that the ex-cellmate has some things to say, that apparently she was like, I'm trying to dish out and pimp out this information to the Biden administration, and they just never took the offer, which is very interesting. And again, we all have to ask, why? Why didn't Biden take it? Maybe because he didn't want people to react the way that they're reacting right now. Because I feel like if he was to do that, that would have gone back and bit him right in the butt. And then he would forget about it 2 minutes later. But it is what it is, right? So apparently this is the ex-roommate. Her name is Catherine Camoli, all right? And of course, this is some footage of her, of Ghislaine Maxwell, trying to get her miles in, all right? She's trying to get, she's trying to get right, trying to get fit for who, I don't know, okay? But if you've seen Orange is the New Black or Oz, only time will tell, right? She might be looking, and batting for the same team because that's all she got. in that prison. But other than that, let's continue. All right. So this is what they're saying. So Kamoli, who is serving 6 years, okay, or was serving 6 years, and then she was released in August, she said it was common knowledge among inmates that Maxwell didn't aim to serve her full 20-year sentence and instead hoped that she'd get a pardon from U.S. President Joe Biden in exchange for information about Donald J. Trump in the lead up to the 2024 election. So, first off, that means she sat down. She knew that, okay, elections are coming up. He's going to be running again. Maybe this is an opportunity for me to throw a little bit of information, throw a little bone over to Joe Biden and basically say, yo, I got dirt on Trump that would destroy him. It would be scorched earth. But I need you to pardon me, which is very interesting. But apparently they're saying Biden didn't take this opportunity. So they're saying, I heard her tell another inmate that she had dirt on Trump and that it was going to get her a pardon from Biden. I guess Biden's camp just didn't want to go down that route. And again, I feel like if they were to talk about a pardon, I'm telling you right now, the same reaction would have happened if it was during Biden's administration. The whole thing would be going up and people would be going crazy. And like I said earlier, maybe it would come back and bite Biden in the butt. People would start accusing Biden of doing bad things, being a part of the island, going on trips, etc. I mean, it would have been really, really bad. Like I said, the conspiracy theories would have run rampant. But at the same time, you should never, ever make deals with a devilish, evil person like Ghislaine Maxwell. I think we should all agree on that, okay? We should never make deals with demonic individuals like her, period. But looks like they did. Looks like the Trump administration did. Okay. So there is still talk of a pardon. Last week, Maxwell, like we talked about, was moved to Camp Bryan, a minimum security prison in Texas where there are no perimeter walls or wire fences. Her move came after she met with and was questioned by Deputy U.S. Attorney General Todd Blanche, which we already know. I believe Maxwell made a deal with the devil. Actually, no, you mean the devil made a deal with the devil, okay? A demon made a deal with the devil. That's basically what it is, to get that transfer out of Tallahassee, all right? So life in Tallahassee prison is markedly different from that of the Camp Bryan. Breakfast would be a scoop of bran flakes and a carton of milk, which was usually frozen. Sometimes you'd get half a frozen pancake. So on a good day, you might get a frozen pancake. Lunch could be 2 pieces of bread and a slice of salami or some potatoes. And dinner would be moldy lettuce, expired tomatoes, and lots of beans and rice. With such unappealing food on offer, Kamoli says inmates would often cook prison soup in the dormitory by pouring hot water into an empty, crisp packet or lunchbox and adding noodles, crushed corn chips, pickles, and cheese. But Maxwell never did this. She had particular habits. For example, she didn't let anyone wash her clothes and cleaned her own cubicle. She claimed to be allergic to the dye in the prison blanket, so she was given special white hospital blankets. You could tell which was her bed because of the white blankets. She was the only one in the whole prison who had white blankets. So she would get a little bit of special treatment there, but it seems like the food wasn't so great, right? But that's what you get when you're in prison, y'all. Maxwell didn't ask for anything from other inmates because she worked out that if you did, there was usually a favor attached to it. So she figured out that, hey, if you ask for a little help from somebody, they're going to ask you to come back and do something for them, right? There's a price tag on everything in prison. I mean, like I said, if you haven't seen Oz, the TV show Oz, or Orange is the New Black, then you're missing out. Okay, I feel like if you're going to prison, those are the two shows you should watch before you go to prison. Okay, so you just understand how the game works, because it is really what it is. If you ask for a favor, they're coming back, and they're getting that favor back. You're paying them back. There is no just doing things out of the kindness of your heart. Okay, let's keep it a bean. But nonetheless, this is a very interesting piece of information that she allegedly had information that could take down Trump. She was willing to give it to the Biden administration. And let's be real. Biden was basically saying, I will not sleep until I take Trump down. They obviously were sworn enemies. They hated each other so much that they were talking about who can outplay golf against, who can outplay golf out of the two. I mean, it was ridiculous. We saw that debate. Crazy, right? But nonetheless, it would be weird if he didn't take that opportunity to even entertain a conversation with Ghislaine Maxwell. Remember, if Biden would stop at nothing to take him down, Trump down, that was an opportunity. If she had dirt on him, and obviously we're now finding out, for the last few weeks, that Trump's name is sprinkled all over the Epstein files. You'd think that the likes of Biden would scoop up this ground ball and use this as an opportunity for a win and destroy Trump. So like I said, why didn't he though? If this is true, why didn't he though? Because this would be a massive opportunity to destroy. I guess the other question is, does it mean that this never happened? She wanted it to happen, but it never happened. She never got a chance to get a hold of Biden and the Biden administration. Maybe. But it is an interesting piece of information nonetheless for it to come out now. And so I still am kind of curious as to if Biden had that piece of information in his hands, if he had that kind of power that could have destroyed so many people, taken down and drained the swamp, why didn't he? Now, I'm not sitting here saying that it actually is true. Now, this inmate, this ex-cellmate, could be lying through her teeth for some extra money. This may have been a paid interview. Or this is an opportunity for her to launch her own possible book. I don't know, a future book that she's writing. My Time with Ghislaine. You know what I'm saying? By Commodity. I don't know. But I am kind of curious as to why this is now coming out now and why Biden didn't do anything if that was actually true. But what say you guys? Do you believe the hype? Do you think it's absolute trash? Comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. Hit that like button down below. Crush that subscribe button. We'll talk here soon. It's weird. It's interesting. But I don't know if it's entirely true. That's what I'm going to say. You let me know in the comment section. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.
Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.